to Discograffiti, the Music Obsessives podcast that gives freaks like you and me the chance to connect with a brotherhood obsessed with rating the entire discography of every single artist and band that ever mattered. I'm your host, Dave Gebroe, and with 4 new episodes each week, you're going to gain a comprehensive knowledge of an act's history and output in the time it takes to listen to one album. Each new guest swings a hard left into an area you either had no idea you needed to know about or know all about and can't believe you're not alone out there. And in this episode, we'll be turning our spray cans on Moby Grape's Peter Lewis. Psst. This is part 2 of my discussion with Peter Lewis, and it's episode 8 of our Grape Expectations series. Hold on for dear life, Patreon family, because right out of the gate of this 1968 to 1969 travelogue, Peter is in very rare form. You've been warned.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to tell them, though, remember you want to tell them?
Just relax.
Oh, okay.
God, geez, Mom. Just, geez, you make me nervous, man. Calm down. Even drinking doesn't calm her down, you know, so you should start smoking pot.
She doesn't smoke pot?
Okay.
No, I don't.
Really? Wow. And you end up with Peter Lewis.
Mhm.
It's not my thing. Okay. That's okay.
Wait, what are you supposed to tell me?
Nothing. Just let's go, man, you know.
Okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right, good. So where we left off was we were talking about WoW, and I forgot actually to ask you, I know it probably seems silly to you, but I'm curious, from 0 to 5 stars, what would you give WoW?
Zero. It's a 0.
Would you really give it 0?
No, I liked it. In the end, I see what it's all about. But, you know, when you're involved in all that shit, you're just trying to stay above water, you know. At that point, we were just struggling to stay alive.
So what do you think? I mean...
So we did that record, whatever it was, you know, it was a documentary of what was going on in our lives right then. We were all in New York in hotel rooms because our producer didn't want to have to stay in California. He wanted to be next to his wife and domestic life. Well, he worked 9 to 5 and then went home to his family. Well, we had to stay in these fucking hotel rooms and be alone.
Well, you split though.
Because he didn't want to stay in California and let us have our domestic lives and just go to work and come home at night.
Well,
we lost all our domestic life being back there. That's what happened to Moby Grape. We all lost our old ladies, you know.
Well, didn't you?
They got tired of waiting for us. That was what it was like in the 60s.
I mean,
I'm telling you, man, you snooze, you lose in the 60s.
But didn't you spend a great chunk of that time back on the West Coast?
I just went there to get Terry Melcher to produce the record. I didn't like all that.
Yeah.
Sgt. Pepper.
All right.
Shit.
So what would you give it between a 0 and a 5-star rating?
I can't do that. I experienced that as a continuum of some sort. I can't rate the thing, you know, they all were different, you know.
Okay, let's move on then. I'm going to let you off the hook, and let's move on to Grape Jam.
I was not a Grape Jam. I don't know nothing about it, you know.
Right, because I know you didn't play on it, right?
No, as I told you, I was trying to get Terry Melcher to take over the record.
Did you
left the band unless we were going to get a different producer. That was what I did.
Yeah.
Finally went back to the band. We didn't get a different producer. So that tells you how much it mattered to them, whether I was there or not, you know.
But you were gone for a while, right? It's not like you flew back.
Yeah, but we didn't give a shit who was there and who wasn't. I don't know how to explain what happened to us. After the first record, we'll go into the third record after I say this last thing about those 2 records, because they were sort of connected, you know. In the first record, we realized that we wanted to do something that we all couldn't do without the others. And that's what we discovered when we played together first, that we can do something with these guys that we can't do on our own. But Columbia marketed us as the 5 singers, great songwriters. They don't, like we just were a consortium of some kind.
So what did you realize?
What we were? We were like brothers, you know. Like
what did you realize on WoW?
Without the other guy.
What did you realize?
Then on WoW, the whole thing about these guys all being different and having enough talent to do this on their own without the others, we believed all that shit, and we made a record like that instead of a record like we made when we made Moby Grape, self-titled. Now let's move on, dude.
All right, you got it. Wait, let me ask you, is this period The wow period is I'm guessing it's your least favorite period to talk about.
You're going back to wow. I said, let's move on, dude.
All right. You got it. Well, I wasn't on wow. I was on Grape Jam. So I was just curious what you thought.
Grape Jam was a part of wow, and I wasn't there for that. Just told you, let's go on,
All right, let's move on. All right. So, what's that? You what?
Nothing. Let's just move on.
Okay, you got it. All right. So, Skip,
Skip's history is in Bellevue. We talked about this last time.
I know. So, Skip.
I go back over that shit. It's like
no, we're not. We're not.
When you're asking me these questions, now let's go forward.
We are going forward. My question was not.
Now we're into 69. What was happening then?
Hold on, we're still in 68.
What's happened in the 69 is that we got some publishing money.
They
got some publishing money. They stole my publishing because I wasn't in New York, and they were making a deal. That's how Moby Grape was, man. You snooze, you lose. You're not there, you don't get paid.
Well, hold on one second.
Very seldom we even got paid, but when we did, if you weren't there, you weren't getting your share.
Before we skip over that, I just want to ask you, when Skip was in Bellevue, were you keeping in touch with him during that time? I know
my wife was writing him letters. They developed a relationship through that, so that's good for them. Let's go on, man.
We are. We're moving on. I'm just curious.
Now we're in 69. All this shit, I've lost everything. My wife is gone, and I just ended up with a house in Boulder Creek. We got some publishing money. I finally got my mom to give me $5,000 for a down payment on a house in Boulder Creek, because those other guys had already gotten paid and used half of my part of my publishing to buy their houses up there. It was Moby Grape. It was like, you got to hang in there if you want to. If you don't, they don't give a shit.
All right, that concludes your free sneak peek into today's Patreon episode. If you want to hear the rest of it, just visit patreon.com/discograffiti and either purchase this podcast by itself for $4, or better yet, subscribe at the major tier and get access to Discograffiti's 4 weekly episodes. That's Friday's free episode, the Sunday Discograffiti Soldiers of Sound episode, which showcases Patreon members and the Elephant Six world, your Monday bonus episode, and your Wednesday early release ad-free super extended director's cut of that Friday's show. Please keep in mind this is entirely how I support my wife and 6-year-old son, so don't risk feeling badly about yourself by not supporting Discograffiti. Become a member so you don't miss a single thing at patreon.com/discograffiti.